In this video, I'm going to give you 5 major reasons why the Marvels is going to flop at the box office. Captain Marvel's extraordinary success, amassing a staggering $1.13 billion worldwide, is a testament to its popularity among the audiences globally. Regardless of personal opinions, the film undeniably struck a chord with its viewers, solidifying its status as a billion-dollar blockbuster. While I do personally think the movie is okay at best, the box office result speaks volumes about how big Captain Marvel was. However, The Marvels, positioned as the sequel not only to Captain Marvel but also intertwined with Miss Marvel and WandaVision, raises concerns. Projections indicate that the film may not just falter at the box office, but it may face significant financial setbacks. According to Box Office Pro, the anticipated domestic opening of The Marvels is estimated to range between $50 to $75 million. This projection is notably less than half of what Captain Marvel achieved back in 2019. This is shocking, particularly given the industry norms of sequels surpassing the predecessors. This pattern has held true across various MCU franchises from Captain America to Iron Man to Thor, where the sequels built on the successes of the first films. Furthermore, The Marvels is anticipated to conclude its domestic box office run well before the $200 million mark. Even if the film manages to accumulate a total of $400 million worldwide, when adding up both domestic and international earnings, it is still poised to result in a significant financial deficit for the studio, exceeding over $100 million. This begs the question of how the Marvels arrived at this point. Several factors may contribute to this. But before we begin, can you please hit that like and subscribe button? I make all kinds of content from movies, TV and anime, and my goal is to improve with each video. Now, let me list a few reasons why the Marvels will flop at the box office. Reason number 1. The MCU has lost its magic. There was a time when the MCU was untouchable. Each release was a cinematic spectacle. This was largely attributed to the unwavering consistency in the quality of the movies. Even with a rapid-fire release schedule, often delivering 2 or 3 films each year, the MCU managed to maintain a very high bar. Whether it was the introduction of Ant-Man, the mystique of Doctor Strange, or the spectacular emergence of Spider-Man, every movie felt something unique. These standalone movies offered viewers a more intimate experience, creating narratives that felt smaller and profoundly personal when it came to the characters. Of course, the MCU always had its big set pieces, but I believe what made it truly special were the character moments. However, the recent landscape has seen a shift. Ant-Man 3 failed to capture the same feeling that its prequels did, and Secret Invasion proved to be a colossal letdown. Moreover, a notable portion of the audience seems to have disengaged from the Marvel shows completely. Even as a devoted MCU fan, I found myself tuning into only one series, Loki, and relegating the rest to the sidelines. Simply said, the MCU has lost all its magic, and the streak of failures recently will result in the Marvels flopping at the box office. Reason number 2, the MCU has no plan or vision. In the earlier phases of the MCU, every film felt like a significant step towards the Infinity Saga, towards Thanos. Even when some movies fell short of greatness such as Thor 2, Iron Man 3 or even Captain Marvel, I remained deeply invested. This was because there was a clear and cohesive vision guiding the entire MCU. Despite the occasional misfires, the overarching narrative provided a sense of purpose and direction. However, Phase 4 has ushered in a notable departure from this well-defined path. It lacks the unifying story arc that was present in the earlier phases. This absence leaves fans like me wondering about the larger vision of the MCU. While creative freedom is undoubtedly crucial for filmmakers, it seems like the creators have been granted an unprecedented level of liberty. It's as if Kevin Feige, the mastermind behind the MCU's early successes, has been replaced by an alter ego with a completely different approach. That just isn't working. This shift in the creative dynamic is not necessarily negative, but it does signal a departure from the tightly woven narrative threads that were a hallmark of the entire MCU. As a dedicated fan who eagerly anticipated each installment, this change has left me yearning for the return of a more structured and purpose-driven MCU. Reason number 3, Captain Marvel is not that liked. This may be a bit controversial to some people, but I really believe that even if we remove the section of misogynistic losers who will dislike any movie having a female lead, even if we remove them, there are still people out there who legitimately don't like Captain Marvel. Personally, I thought she had a certain cringe about her, and she is way overpowered.
Because before you didn't have me.
Hey, new girl. Everybody in this room is about that superhero life. And if you don't mind my asking, where the hell have you been all this time?
There are a lot of other planets in the universe.
It is hard to root for a character who is so clear about everything, who doesn't doubt herself. It's almost like everything she says is the right thing. Superheroes are way more interesting when they are vulnerable and when they do make mistakes, when they do have to overcome something. Tony Stark and Steve Rogers both had that vulnerability. I do get that Captain Marvel is supposed to be like that, but I find it hard to get behind a cold and perfect character like Captain Marvel. Fuck those people who don't like Brie Larson the actor. I think she's great. But again, I think this goes beyond those certain morons. The truth is, Captain Marvel is just not that likable. Reason number 4. Who are Miss Marvel and Monica Rambeau? Miss Marvel, also known as Kamala Khan, was introduced to audiences with a generally positive reception. Her character resonated with many, offering a fresh perspective and a new dimension to the superhero landscape. On the other hand, Monica Rambeau, while a character with potential, has remained a relatively minor figure in the MCU. Her presence, while noteworthy, has not yet reached the same level of prominence as the other central characters.
She could have taken out Thanos on her own if he hadn't initiated a blitz. I mean, nobody else came close.
Well, I'd argue that Captain Marvel came close.
Her powers came from an Infinity Stone too, right?
We are not talking about her, we are talking of...
Also, despite Miss Marvel's positive reception, the show faced challenges in terms of viewership. Among all the MCU shows, it registered one of the lowest viewer counts. Seeing both Miss Marvel and Monica Rambeau prominently featured in the Marvel's main poster raises intriguing questions. While their inclusion adds depth and diversity to the narrative, it also prompts consideration of whether their presence may overshadow or dilute the central focus on Captain Marvel. In retrospect, a direct sequel centering solely on Captain Marvel might have yielded a more concentrated and impactful narrative. I just think that most of the audiences don't even know who Miss Marvel or Monica Rambeau is because they have not seen them or their shows. Reason number 5, the budget, $270+ million. The staggering budget for Captain Marvel, estimated at over $270 million, places immense financial pressure on the film's performance. When factoring in the marketing expenses, the movie essentially needs to make close to $500 million to merely break even. Such a colossal financial requirement is no small feat even for a franchise as successful as the MCU, especially when the MCU has been misfiring lately. Unfortunately, the projected earnings for the Marvels indicate that meeting this substantial target may be a considerable challenge. Projections suggest that the film's box office performance may fall short of the required threshold and the movie may lose close to $100 million. While the MCU has historically been able to mitigate its financial risk through merchandise sales and other revenues from streaming, it's important to note that this strategy may not be sufficient to offset the potential losses incurred by the Marvels. Given the massive investment, the movie must have long legs, given how low it is tracking for its opening weekend. The trailers for the Marvels appear to present a formulaic approach, suggesting that it may follow a standard typical MCU narrative template. This familiarity may lead to concerns among the audiences about the film's uniqueness and originality. If the movie fails to offer a distinctive and engaging storyline, it risks falling into the category of just another space adventure, which could dampen audiences' enthusiasm for even future MCU movies. While the MCU has demonstrated a remarkable ability to turn out box office hits, the unique circumstances surrounding the Marvels warrant careful consideration. The film's financial viability hinges on a combination of factors, including audience reception and sustained popularity, and I just don't see how the movie picks up any steam before its release. So, those are my reasons why I think the movie will not do well at the box office. Please do let me know if you disagree with some of those, and I would love to know your thoughts on the topic. Many thanks for watching.